Okay, so this is going to be a really quick little creativity clip. One thing that can be like a real issue with us multidimensional baddies and magical royalty is that we see the potential for this planet and what can happen here, and the beauty and the love and the peace and the magic and the joy that can be present, right? And then what happens is we often look around and we see all of the ways that peace, joy, love, beauty, and magic are not present in the world. So as I'm recording this, I'm literally watching what I would call the dregs of society just zombie around my home, literally where I live. There's a huge influx of tourists for the next 3 to 4 weeks. Well, yeah, like 3 weeks or so. It's like mad tourist season, and I have just sat in this parking lot for literally, we've been here for like 30 minutes total. We went to 3 shops, and I have just watched these people who you can tell are just, you can tell the look on their face. They're that mean, old, white people. The dudes are gray and the women are all blonde and wearing like wannabe tennis skirts, but they've never touched a tennis racket in their life. They're all from Florida. Literally every single car that I have seen in this parking lot that's not like the locals, it's all Florida people. So a lot of very not beautiful energy, a lot of very gross energy rolling off of these people. Gonna be honest, like those faces that just look, as my grandma would say, meaner than a snake. So I wrote a poem about it. I was sitting in the car and Michael had run into the dispensary and the cheese shop. There's like a dispensary and cheese shop right next to each other. And then we'd come to get coffee first, and the vibes were so weird, just rolling out from like, not from the coffee shop, but from the people in the coffee shop who they don't even go here, right? Like, you don't even go here. You're not even from here. But they bring their bad vibes to town. And, so I was just sitting here watching it all, and I wrote a poem about it. I was like, you know what? I need to put this external to myself. And what happens with us constantly is we see these people and these beings. I'm not 1,000% sure why there's people just awkwardly standing behind my car, but it's like they've all got the same blonde hair. It's really interesting. Well, it was originally brown, you can tell. Just awkwardly close, like, to my shit. Hi, go away. Fucking weirdos. Like, fucking blonde people just staring me down. Like, haven't you ever seen a bitch have a conversation on the phone across time and space? Like, do you mind? It just looks like I'm sitting here recording, or like on a call. Like, it just looks like on a call. Like, that's what I'm saying is, like, these people don't even seem like people. Like, they just look at you like there's nothing in there. Like there's like a bunch of bodies walking around me right now. I literally feel like I'm in like a Syrian hell realm, which is a very dramatic way to say one of the locations that was like zombie infested. Like, these people have like mad zombie vibes, but they're like driving cars and getting coffee. Like, it's really crazy, like, what I'm watching right now. So I wrote a poem about it. I used to write poetry all the time when I was in college. It was one of my creative methods of dealing with being in very disgusting vibrational environments. And I called it out very much in like, I read a lot of like beatnik poetry and Hemingway and stuff when I was in college. And, one of my friends and I used to like go to IHOP in the middle of the night and sit in the like smoking section and smoke cigarettes and drink black coffee and pretend to be beatniks. And it was fabulous. Also, though, I'm going to be honest, like, people will just stare me down for no reason other than like, I don't look like them. Like, I'm not particularly overdressed today. I mean, I don't really particularly overdress. I live in the mountains. But like, I'm just sitting here wearing my poncho and my little dress. But, you know, I do an updo almost every time I leave the house. I pretty much don't leave the house with my hair down. And I tend to look quite regal and royal no matter what I do. Like, it's just, I threw my hair up, you know, and threw on like a little black silk slip dress. Some days I just don't want to be perceived, so I didn't get out of the car today. But, like, people will literally just stare at me while I'm sitting in the car because I don't have the blonde hair and the vacant expression and the bullshit. You know, there's, like, something going on in the brain, and they're like, what do you mean? It's, you know, it's not like the Imhotep vibes, right? Like, I'm telling you, there's some Zombie Central vibes and bullshit going on in this exact little location that I'm in right now. But anyways, when you come across these locations, it can get really overwhelming for us as magical, multidimensional baddies to process these vibrations, these energies. And so I recommend to create something about it, to let it live external to you. If you want to write a poem about these people barely able to totter their armfuls of alcohol into their Mercedes and their Teslas, I mean, I'm going to be honest, I don't know what more could be the dregs of society than what I'm literally witnessing right now. These just over-moneyed, over-egoed individuals who literally can barely walk, who think that they are like the greatest of the great. Like, that's the vibes that I'm in right now. Like, it's literally, these people can like barely walk, and they're over here with their Mercedes and their Teslas congratulating themselves on how they're like, you know, American royalty or whatever. Like, that's the vibes. You picking up the vibes I'm putting down here? You getting what I'm saying here, honeys? Okay. Like, I have literally seen two people. I have seen two people in 37 minutes since we pulled into this parking lot, besides me and Michael, who look like they actually have brain patterns going on. Like, they look like there's actually somebody in there. One girl just got in a Hyundai and is driving off. She's wearing like a uniform. Looks like she's either going to or coming from work, potentially at like a hotel, a gas station, something like that. That means she's local. The other guy looked like a local, had a North Carolina plate on his car, which is funny because we still have Texas plates. We got to get those updated. But but he looked like a local too. I don't really know how to describe it. He just looked like a local. The way that he just kind of like pulled into the parking lot, and he was very chill. Most of us who live in the mountains, we're very chill people. Like, you don't live in the mountains to be a turnt, coked out, like you know, crazy Florida man. But the crazy Florida men all want to come up here and bring their like crazy Florida vibes up here. So when you experience something like this, you know, write it out, call it out, even if nobody else ever sees it, right? This poem could literally live in my notes, in my phone, never get seen. I could put it on my blog. I could go back to like it's 2009, angstily write poetry about the bullshit that I see on an almost daily basis. And I give it somewhere to live outside of myself. So then it doesn't grow. It doesn't fester. It doesn't become something that I later need to alchemize or transmute or heal. It no longer is something that any of the matrices can use against me or to in any way draw me into their grasp. So I'm not going to go out and think that there's something wrong with me and I need to heal and transmute my sister woundings or whatever, when really I'm just sick of bitches. Like, I'm gonna be real, okay? Like, you know, just you know, like you come across people and they are just nothing but the bad vibes. And we feel that and we experience that and we're not. And then we judge ourselves for it because it's like we pick up, they're like old gross tennis shoes, right? And we're like, oh, these are nasty. These are really disgusting. These are gross. And then we like put them on and start wearing them and we wear them around. And we're like, why are these so gross? Why don't they fit? Why do these stink? Like, what's going on here? So when you experience this, oh, there comes my handsome husband with 6 drinks and a pup cup. Here, let me take this from him real quick, y'all.
Thank you, baby.
Trying to figure out what to do with it. Hold on. Boop. 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 Got the beverages, y'all. Oh, but I've locked my husband out. Hold on. It's also so funny to me, like, sometimes people will see Michael and he's like the only attractive man in, I don't know, probably a 50-mile radius, to be perfectly frank. He's tall, he's dark, he's handsome, he's got his leather jacket on today, he's got his hair pulled back in his ponytail. It's fucking fabulous. And sometimes they'll just, like, look at him, and then, like, they see that he's getting in the car with me, and it's like, it's always these blondes who, like, have a real bad dye job, who think it's good, right? And they look over and it's like they see me and I've cut all the blonde off my hair. So they see like the brunette sitting there and that you can tell they're just like, oh my God, like, how did she get him? And I'm like, 'cause I'm hot, motherfucker, and I've got more than 2 brains to rub together. Thank you.
You're damn right.
Anyways, it's been a whole ass wild time, honey.
Hey.
I have written a poem.
Hey.
I have recorded a little, I can't remember what I called it. Creative something. I called it something. I can't remember what I called it. It had a good name I'll have to listen to the beginning. Anyways.
Yeah.
So when you see these very dregs of society who think that they are like, American royalty people, when you see people who treat other people like crap, when you experience frequency ranges that are basically hell realms, right? This is, I believe, what one would call hell. I'm going to be honest. Being immersed and submerged in so many completely unconscious people who these people treat their kids like shit, backstab each other, cheat on each other, do all this horrible shit to each other, and then turn around and wear a cross and go to church on Sunday morning before they go out and do some cocaine and, drink themselves into a stupor on Sunday night because they're retired. Like those people. Like, I'm not fucking joking. That's what these people do, okay? So or whatever it is, when you find yourself in these frequencies of any type of, war frequencies, whether it's like emotional from your parents' warfare or, governmental warfare, when you find yourself in these environments with these people who are energy vampires, when you find yourself around people who use other people, who are backstabbers, who do all of this shit that we cannot even fathom, create something about it. Let it live outside of yourself. Put it into some form of art, because the art will transmute those frequency ranges that you're picking up from these beings, because these are beings, these are entities incarnated into human form that look like they are humans and they ain't. Okay, and that's why it feels so icky when you keep it within. And that is their whole goal. That is actually the whole goal, is to introduce you into this frequency range and then give it a place to live within you so that it then siphons your power away from you, and they, on a multidimensional energetic level, get it. So what we do is we transmute it via the art. Write a poem about it. Paint something. Make something, do something that's going to, record a voice note, record a podcast. I don't care what it is, do something that's going to get it outside of yourself. Even if you end up, like I said, never showing it to anyone, even if you end up not putting it out there, just the act of creation is transmutation. The act of creation is transmutation. So when you create something, when you create a poem, when you create a painting, when you create a drawing, when you create a song, when you create anything, you are transmuting the energy that sparked the need for that creative process, that alchemical process, to occur. Because, to write a poem, you have to boil it down to the first line you're going to start with, and then you can build from there. So art really is alchemy, and when we tune into that and we utilize that art as alchemy, it's like you don't even have to do anything else. It does the work for you. I remember, the way that I started the grids of transmutation I told Michael, I was like, I need to go get a sketchbook and I need to put, it's just going to be horrible energy, right? And I thought it was going to be all blacks and reds and grays, and I expected it to be all, whatever. Hi, Mira. Did you enjoy your coffee, baby? And it's one of the most vibrant series I've ever created. It's one of the most psychedelic series I've ever created. I think I literally used black in 2 or 3 of the grids, minute little details. They were fabulous. They created some amazing color pops and really amazing, dynamics in the pieces and flow of the art and the energy through the pieces. And I was so shocked, like how much pink, how much orange, how much yellow, because I was feeling all of this, this horrible energy, like stacked up inside of me. But then when I started the act of creation, the transmutation occurred, and that was reflected in what came through and what I ended up drawing. It's like when I did the grids, by the time I got down to painting the grids, it's like that dark, overwhelming despair energy, right? It was just already gone. So then I was able to focus more on what I wanted to bring through and create in place of that energy, rather than focusing on giving that energy. It's like I don't paint the energy of these horrible people into a portal so that then they can just live rent-free in the portal. I paint a portal that balances the energy emanating from, this dreadful whatever, right? So anyways, that's our quick little, I think I called it a culture clip. I think that's what it was.
Hey.
No, I called it a creative clip. That's what it was. Something like that. Anyways, go forth, make some art, make some beautiful things, and I will talk to you in the next transmission.